Oh no.
You, dude, you must have like looked in my diary or something because you're hitting all my triggers. If it's not over,
Uh-oh.
you're over. You're overboard.
Oh, really?
Under is not happening. I
What?
don't want to have to. It's like I don't want to reach under the hood to start my car. I want to push the button and go.
Welcome back to Privy. Privy is a podcast about bathrooms recorded from my home bathroom. Today, I will be joined remotely by a friend, Nate Frye. And so I'm going to see here if I can get him in as quick as possible. Let's see. There we go. Hot. Sup, dude? How are you?
Oh, I'm great. It's fantastic.
Yeah. What have you been like? What are you doing again? You're doing like fiber optic? Is that
Yeah. I splice fiber optic cables, but I have to do a lot of the placement too, from the CO to the
okay?
customers. We place it, dig holes in the ground, go up on telephone poles, put the fiber optic line in there, and then I come in when we're all done with that, and I splice it because you have to do them in sections
Right.
when you go to a different direction or whatever. So I'll have to splice them together, and then give people services for whatever they're using it for, whether internet, phone, or
Dang.
business. Yeah.
Wow. How'd you get into that?
So my dad actually worked for Rocky Mountain Contractors, is the company that
Okay.
does. He worked for them since for 20 years now.
Okay.
And so I was originally supposed to be just a groundsman. I was supposed to be the guy that dug the shovels when we can't use a machine and just kind of doing the lazy work because, I came from Walmart, so I had no experience in construction.
Right.
And then, well, one of the other splicers was getting in some trouble and they were thinking about that he might not be there too much longer and all that. And they just looked at me and said, nobody wants to learn splicing because it is very complicated, a lot to learn. And, I was kind of nervous about it because they were explaining to me what it was. And I'm just like, I know how to put an item on a shelf when it's not there type of thing. They're like, no, we have faith in you. We think you
Yeah.
can learn how to splice. So I jumped in the trailer and he showed me what to do. And a lot of it is just learning colors and reading the prints. And
Yeah.
it's basically self-explanatory, but it's convincing other people that it's more complicated than it actually is. So I still look smart. So, but it actually is complicated because there's 12 fibers in a buffer tube. There's
Okay.
a buffer tube and there's 144 buffer tubes in some of these things. So like a lot of the
Cool.
ones it's like, oh, you got to jump, this fiber's damaged. So you have to go from this fiber to that fiber. Well, sometimes there'll be traffic on that fiber. Now I have to go back and do this and figure out what's open. And then I have to go back, figure out the fibers that are open so we can connect to that customer or get this.
Jeez.
And I mean, there is a lot of that stuff, but I mean, I got engineers that are
Air quotes
that
engineers.
go to college, yeah,
Yeah.
that go to college for all that stuff. And I mean, they have all this stuff on paper apparently, but some of their stuff is so messed up. It's like, so I actually, because I work on the so I work out in the field, they sit in an office,
Right.
so they have actually no idea of what's going on out there. And the biggest problem is they're like, well, our papers say that this is open, and this is open. I'm like, then why, when I put my light fiber detector on it, is there light on that? No, there isn't no light on it because our records show it should be on this fiber and that fiber, not this fiber. I'm like, yeah, but I'm looking at that. Well, you're not in the right buffer tube. No, the buffer tubes are color coded unless I'm colorblind now. Orange is still orange. I mean, they'll sit there and argue with me,
Right.
and then but what happens is there's splicers that will make a change, but not tell it to the engineers, and it won't get updated in the system. And that's where a
Oh.
lot of the problem is. But the engineers don't want to admit they're wrong,
Right.
so they'll sit there and argue with you over and I think that's why a lot of people don't want to make the changes in the system is
Right.
because the engineers will sit there and argue with them, and they don't want to argue with the engineers. Well, now I come in 20 years later and I see this mess. I'm like, well, thanks, guys. Now you messed the whole Nate up. So I take a job that should be probably 20 or probably a 2-day job. It'll take me 2 weeks just trying to
Sort it
frog and
out.
jump fibers.
Man,
You know?
that sucks.
Yeah. So I guess I wasn't correct in saying it was easy, but the idea of the job is easy, like the
Right.
splicing and getting that, but it's the troubleshooting that's the biggest problem with fiber optic splicing.
Yeah, dude. So I'm gonna kind of just open it up to you if you have stories to share. I have questions, of course, but and then I also have an inquiry into your memory. But what do you have any sort of like wild bathroom stories or things that like you've experienced? I mean, you worked at Walmart, so I know there's got to be something out there, but um,
Like just a bathroom story, just in general.
dude, anything like
I'll start with way back about how long ago did I work at Walmart? Did I start there? It was about the third day on my job. So we'll say good old 2013. Hey, 10 years ago. Holy cow, yeah. 10 years
dang.
ago. And yep, they were like, oh, this they they always told, and I knew they were BSing me when they told me they work, when I applied at Walmart, and the first thing they said is, yeah, we don't really have a lot of issues here. And I'm like, I bet you're lying to me. So, and of course they were, because on the third day, well, I'll start with the biggest thing. On the second day of job, we had a lady come through who consumed Herd Delights and
Oh,
decided to go pick up more wine in the wine section and had no control over her hands or her body, and dumped 4 bottles of wine and broke all 4 of them. And we had to clean that up.
oh my gosh.
So we'll start there. But
That's
going on to
insane.
the fun part, I had a lady come up to me, and I was carrying the bathroom cleaning cart. And she goes, hey, sir, are you maintenance? Do you clean the bathrooms? I was like, yeah, actually, I do. Is there one of the bathrooms? Yeah, the last stall in the ladies' bathroom is a little. She was very calm, so I figured, oh, there was toilet paper, or oh,
Right.
there's this or that there. And I was like, yeah, I if you don't mind cleaning up, it looks gross in there. I was like, absolutely. I was 18. Was I 18 or 19 at that time? Doesn't matter. However, I walk in there, and I was doing bathrooms by myself because it was a crazy day, right? So we
Yeah.
usually try to do double up, especially on days that it's busy. Get 2 of us in there, clean it, and get it out. I walked in there. I poked my head. Maintenance, anyone in here? No answer. So I block it off. I poked my head in there, got on that radio. Hey, Dimitro, who's my father-in-law. Are you still? He's like, I just finished doing what I was doing. Yeah, we need help in the ladies' bathroom. I am not doing this by myself. There were 3 out of the 4 stalls, or 5, or however were, filled to the brim with boat.
Just to the top?
It looked like each one of them at the same time, like, hey, let's have a Taco Bell eating contest and then go shopping at Walmart is the idea. It was the bottom of the bottom of the toilet, and then the top part is just brown.
In the women's
bathroom.
what?
And 3. So the first one was bad. The second and the handicap one were just demolished. And I wanted to go back and find that lady and be like, hey, next time give me a little, like, something that it's going to be bad, so I have my mindset of where I'm going to be.
Right.
I was going in there to hit the mindset I'm going to go maybe maybe find a little bit of stuff on the toilet or whatever. But no, it took us, we had to get bleach and all this stuff. I mean, and the other parts that are connected by the bathroom, they were torn out and all over the floor. What we think happened was somebody was having, I don't know if you know much about Great Falls, which I know you do, but the habits aren't the greatest as far as cutting the edge on life.
Yeah.
So we think that's what happened. It was somebody who had a trip and just went nuts. But how they had explosives like that on their rear ends was amazing to us. I mean, we weren't even mad. It was just like, wow, I'm not alone.
Yeah. I'm validated.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh.
But we've had other things like that, but it's usually just one, in the future. So it took us about 2. We had to shut that bathroom down for 2 hours. just to make sure all of it, because it was dried on there. Nobody with a problem, or it wasn't 2 hours because we cleaned the bathroom every 2 hours. So it had to have happened like right after we did our first cleaning, because we have to clean those bathrooms every 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it had to happen in between that time. And it was just about the time I had to go clean anyway, or that's why I had that cart, is because that's what I was going to do. So I was on my way there anyway. Sorry, my memory's a little hazy, but
no, you're good.
Anyway, yeah. But that
crazy.
will stick onto me like that happened yesterday. I will never forget that. And I was just sitting there, and Demetrio, he's a little Spanish man who has a lot of energy, right? He comes in there, he starts going, oh, lady, he was screaming so loud about it because he gets hyped up about that stuff. Lady walked in, he's, are you guys okay in there? Like, I'm like, yeah, we just we have a little issue we got to deal with. We're cleaning it up. And she's like, oh, I thought somebody was hurt. It's me. It was crazy. Yeah. It was funny.
Oh my gosh. At Walmart, did you ever have anybody poop not in the bathroom?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And they always do in the fitting rooms.
Oh
Absolutely.
no.
Oh yeah. In the fitting rooms. They
gosh.
Janelle, I would actually, after I do the after there was a while, and this actually, I started doing this about a year or so after I start working there. I do the bathroom cleanups, and then I stroll on by the old fitting rooms. Hey, how are you guys doing over here? Any misses? No. You go look through all the, nope, we're good so far. We'll call you if we need you. Because I just pass out. Because the one time I was stopped by, so I think somebody peed, and we don't know if it's somebody spilled water or lemon, but we're pretty sure it's pee.
Oh my gosh.
So
is it? Do you ever figure, do they know why, or is it just like the bathrooms or
people
just pranks?
Yeah, you know how I mean, Great Falls is it's not just Great Falls, but Great Falls is more common for stupid people than I care to admit. But it just, I mean, the biggest part is the substance abuse.
Yeah.
Drugs. It just, people do crazy stuff, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Man, that's crazy. Wow. Changing room. I was expecting I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't the changing rooms, huh?
Yeah, changing rooms, absolutely. And actually, Demetrio, he's actually working back at that. He actually says he hadn't had and I don't know if it's just people finally clicking like, oh, these aren't the bathrooms, or if it was just, or something, but he said me in the past 5 years, and actually the past 2 years I worked there, I haven't had a problem in the changing rooms.
Wow.
Before I switched jobs, but I haven't had any, or a couple problems here and there, but those were like a child when being changed. That was that. But as far as like adults or whatever, they just quit. It seemed like there was just a wave that just like, all right, we need to just start using the bathrooms.
We need to get it together.
There's finally a moment where it's like what I feel. It's like there's got to be like a community of these people. All right, call to the order of the people who poop in the thing. All right, no more changing rooms. We're done with the changing rooms.
We gotta stop.
The gavel. Like, yeah, hear ye, or yay or nay, yay. So they just smacked the gavel, and that was the end of that. Because I mean, it's just, there's got to be a community of those people.
They're meeting up somewhere.
Or they just moved, like, all right, Great Falls is getting old. Let's go to Kalispell. Like,
Oh, dude, I bet the people in Kalispell would have a field day if that happened up there.
Oh, dude, and especially with all the neat freak Californians that are moving up there. Oh, Lord, they would know. They would not have an okay time with that.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well, I'm gonna start in on questions, and if you get a story that comes to mind, you just shout it out, and yeah. So the first question is what type of toilet paper do you use at your homestead? What are you wiping with?
What am I wiping with? Charmin.
Charmin? Oh, let's go. Do you get the blue bag or red bag Charmin?
Red.
Do you know?
Red. I will not wipe without red.
I refuse to wipe without red. So it's interesting to me because out here, like, we have Costco. It's essentially like Sam's Club, but it's not Sam's Club. It's I don't know. It's Kirkland brand.
Yeah, and we had that up in Helena.
Yep, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I just feel like everybody I ask over here in Oregon, they're like, oh yeah, Costco toilet paper. And I'm like, okay, but Charmin, hey. And when you guys put it on the roll, are you folding it over or are you folding it under? Which way is it? Oh, oh no.
You must have like looked in my diary or something because you're hitting all my triggers. If it's not over,
Uh-oh.
you're over. You're overboard.
Oh, really?
Under is not happening. What? I don't want to have to. It's like I don't want to reach under the hood to start my car. I want to push the button and go.
He's got to reach for it. So does Diana, like, is she on board with that, or do you guys, is that one of those points of contention?
No, that's one of the main reasons we're getting along the greatest these days, because we have that. I mean, that's so good. A strong part of it. I mean, bathroom etiquette is very important in our household.
Yeah. I regularly just frustrate Anna because I just sling it on there. I don't look. And
oh, really?
And I'm not like, because sometimes I get it right, what she, and sometimes it's just like, I got it on the roll. I did it. I've succeeded. And she has informed me like, no, it needs to go over. Otherwise you've done a bad thing. Yeah. Yeah, she would agree. Are you a bar soap or a liquid soap lad?
Liquid soap.
Liquid soap. What are you using these days for liquid soap?
As far as body goes, Old Spice.
There you go. Okay.
Yep.
Old Spice.
It reminds me of Pirates. I'm into Pirates.
Yeah.
And then I do the 2-in-1, and actually because there's a 2-in-1 Suave that does anti-dandruff, and I have horrible dandruff.
Dude, same.
So with that Suave anti-dandruff stuff, 2-in-1, not a speck of dandruff.
Dang, really?
Yep.
I might have to seek that out. I fooled around with the Head and Shoulders for a while because it's just, I don't know, it said it would do it, but I hit or miss on it. All right, so liquid soap. Have you? Okay, yeah. So that's mostly, I think, you shower. But like, what is your opinions? Like, how do you feel about baths? So, taking a bath. What's your take on that? How are you doing with it?
So actually, and here, and if I'm healthy, not tired, just in a good mood, sort of ready to go to work, I'm a shower boy.
Yeah.
I shower the heck. I would choose over that. But there are some mornings which I haven't done it. Well, actually, I'll tell you my opinion and then tell you the story afterward. But when I'm tired and I wake up and I've worked overtime, because with this new job, I work 60 hours a lot of the time for that. I'll wake up and just see, like, you know what? I might just bathe today. I might lay in my filth and do it, because I can't stand there. I'm so overtired. But it has to be to that point for me to be okay with that. Right. And it's not like one of those things where I get home and be like, oh, I'm in a bath. No, I am definitely a shower like homeboy. But like I said, I have my mornings where I'm so exhausted. I will lay. And actually, but where I was going with that, why I wanted to tell you a story after that was, I'm okay with the bath. But what I've done, and I actually think this is better, is I won't do a bath. I will lay down while the shower is going and let it the full spread, and I will lay in there and let the warmth kind of go all over, and that actually feels a lot better. So I've actually been doing that more often.
Interesting. So like
I'll just lay down in the shower and let the spread kind of take care of its business. That way I can lay there and get my hair.
Are you? In my brain, you're laying on your back. Like, we might be getting too intimate on that one, but like,
not at all.
Wow. I've never heard anybody do that. And I'm open to trying it. I just, that's a new one for me.
And I've never done it when I'm fully awake or so I don't know how it is, but those are days where I'm just exhausted.
Right.
So I'll try it. And just because we had this conversation, so I might try it and be like, I'm going to do it when I have my energy and just see if it's different, see if it's a different experience when because it might be weird for me because I'm not exhausted. I'm like, why am I just laying here, but I don't know. I might try it when I'm not, but it does feel good. Like, it just, there's something almost calming about it. I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting. Does Diana know you do that?
I don't know. I've never talked to her about it, and
Yeah.
I don't think
I'm
because
just yeah. I'm just curious because I'm like, oh, I'm trying to figure out what Anna would do if she walked in and I'm like,
see, and that's the thing is I keep my bathroom locked. I don't like Diana walking in on me.
oh, really?
I
Okay.
don't know if I'm insecure or what it is, but there are times, but 90% of the time that door is locked tight.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't
that's fair.
I don't want somebody walking in on
Yeah.
me, even if it is Diana. Like it's just weird for me.
Yeah.
Unless you really need something, I'll go and unlock it. But
Right.
I mean, other than that, I like
Yeah. Yeah. That's your zone.
yeah, exactly. It's my like, especially when I'm doing something embarrassing lying in the shower. But
Just
I
taking the
mean,
water.
I never really thought about what her opinion on that would be.
Maybe she does it and you just don't even know it.
Yeah, we both have that.
Yeah. Accidentally doing it. Um, have you ever taken a shower in the dark?
I cannot absolutely
Oh,
let no, no,
really?
I can't do it.
Oh,
Nuh-uh. I have horrible anxiety, and it
okay.
would no. It just and that's why with the bathroom things, certain things, and it's not just the bathroom; it's things around the house. Well, what happened, and I'll get into my anxiety a little bit if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
Go for it.
Um, so Walmart, you know how like during school I was very, and I still am actually, but ever since I got into Walmart, I got hammered over everything because I was the guy that did everything. You didn't have to ask. Everyone expected me. Well, I
Right.
built such a we expect Nate to do this. Nate does expect to do that. I built such a like expectation at Walmart because I did everything there. I was there for 10 years, almost 10 years, that they were when I didn't do something extra or above and beyond, they
Right.
reamed me about it. Well, you did this yesterday. You did that, and today you did this, and this. Why did you not do that, and that? I'm like, I'm tired today. I'm not in the mood. I'm having a bad day today. I
Right.
don't want to work overtime. I don't want to do this. I don't want because I worked. There were times I worked 50 hours at Walmart just because I wanted
Right.
money. And but then they grilled me and drilled me so hard. I could hardly work 40 hours. I
Right.
was hardly working a full week. I would come up with excuses. I would actually, this is to my full shame, but I would lie about my blood sugars just to go home early so it wouldn't count against me
Right. Yeah.
because I was so depressed and had so much. And then me and Diana went through the times,
Hmm.
through some tough times because of that, because I was so angry and bitter. I had actually there were kids that started there and they were high school kids, and I used to love it when high school kids started because I'm gonna be like, hey, this is what you're gonna expect out of the world. There's gonna be a lot of tough times. Think
Right.
about this. You're in the real world now. And I loved it when I mean I didn't say that to him, but I kind of hinted at that,
Right.
and
Right.
but I told him just if you're going through times, don't be afraid to ask. All of us have been through what you're going through and all this. Don't, I would just try to encourage them and do all that so they knew what to expect. Well, that the last few months I was at Walmart, we hired two 16-year-olders who are never worked a job. Their mom had to put I heard their backstory because they were kind of very open, and their mom put their foot down and said, "You guys need to find a job and
Right.
see what it is this summer. You guys are working, you guys are getting jobs," and they were kind of upset about it. Well, these kids, so I thought in my mind, I thought these kids were just slacking off and looking for a reason to get out of
Right.
stuff to do. Well, so they were sitting in what is called aisle 3, and that's where we get our um groceries, where we
Yeah.
put our grocery carts to take out to the floor. Or they were in aisle 2 actually. So they go into aisle 2 and they're standing there, and I go in there. I was like, "What are you kids doing, man? Don't can't just hide it." And I just snap at these kids. I said,
Yeah.
"We don't just sit here and mess around and goof around like that, man. We're here to work. And if you guys don't want to do that, and just find something else, because I'm not going to sit here and put up with it." And those kids like stared at me and they were like, "Dude, we were told to come to aisle 2 to get groceries, and we were looking for the carts." I stared at him and I just big open my. And the one kid goes, "Hey, are you all right?"
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
asked me like,
Right.
"Dude." I was like, "No, I'm not, man. I'm stressed out." And they're like, "Yeah, we can tell, man. You just came on court." I said, "Aisle 3's over here, man. figure out where you need to go. And I kind of explained to him my situation. I said, guys, I've just been under a lot of stress, man. I'm sorry. And he goes, yeah, you just like, whoa, who is this guy? You know?
Right.
And I did talk to him a little bit, and after getting to know him, I kind of they understood, but I still like to this day I still feel guilty about it.
Right.
Like it was hard, and that's where I was really thinking. That's actually what really kicked me into gear to find a new job.
Yeah.
That's where my dad finally was like, "Hey, well, how about you try working for me?" Because I was telling Dad, and Mom and Dad even noticed how bad I was getting.
Right. Yeah.
They noticed how angry I was. I'd come home, go visit them, and I wouldn't want to do anything. I would just sit there and I would just complain and argue and just be a bitter Bessie, Their mom didn't like it. Mom was getting real upset. My mom's an emotional lady anyway, and she was getting really worried. So now I'm getting back to old Nate with this new job, so it's kind of nice.
Good. Yeah, that it's awful that because that I'm certain that Walmart's not the only place like that where you have these folks who they've put in years, and instead of kind of honoring that, it kind of gets tossed back on them, and that experience is kind of the reason that people almost take advantage. It's awful. I know that I wasn't at McDonald's long, but I could see that. I never had that because I wasn't there long, but I could see folks who had been there 8-9 years, and that was them. And it's like, oh man, this is rough. That sucks, dude. I'm glad you're got away from that or moved on to something that's better for you though, because that's that's good stuff.
And that's the really good thing about this job is nobody because I'm the only fiber splicer in Great Falls.
Wow.
So my foreman, he comes in, he's the placement guy, he's not a splicer at all. He knows a little bit about it, but he so he comes up to me, he's like, hey, it says here on the paperwork this was only supposed to be a 3-hour job. It looks like you're 8 hours into it already. What's going on? I was like, well, this, that, and this isn't working, so I have to do this. I've been on the phone with the engineer, and he doesn't know what to do. And dude, it's just been a bad day. I start getting anxiety because I start remembering how Walmart managers treat me. So I start getting hyper with things. And he's like, oh, all right, cool, man. Thanks for letting me know. I'll just let you do it.
That's awesome.
Oh, cool. So just keep me updated and keep in touch with your those engineers, because if you keep in touch with them and they know what's going on, you're not going to get nothing. I was like, okay, yeah, it's all right. Catch you when you just call me when you're getting ahead, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's super cool. So no dark shower, anxiety inducing. That's what perfect. You ever eat anything in the shower by any chance?
I can't. No.
Same story, kind of
same. Not anxiety, but musty food is not a Nate thing to do.
Musty food is not a Nate thing.
No.
What about a cold drink in the shower? You ever pop one of those open?
Oh God, no. No. What's funny is I've never even thought about it. It's not even been a thought. That's the same with the bathroom. Just no. I can't. It's just that idea. I mean, I've never really thought about it, but now that I am, I couldn't. I mean, because my idea is I want to get in there and out.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Hunter. No.
Just post up for a minute, have a little snack. On the toilet? Anything on the toilet? No?
Bro.
No? Okay, I gotta ask you. So do you remember, in my brain, it was freshman PE, but I remember we all walked down in the locker room and it's just James Curtis, Dave's older brother, sitting butt naked, sprawled on the toilet, eating a cupcake. Do you have this memory?
Yes.
And to this day, I'm like, just whenever I think of someone eating on the toilet, that's just the picture. And I'm just like, oh gosh, here we are. Have you ever gone poop while you're in the shower? Like waffle stomp it?
I don't I don't even pee in the shower, bro.
What?
No.
Oh, dude. Hey, this might be like bad confessions, but I do every single time. I pee in the shower every time. Like,
Really?
yeah.
I you are a better man than I, Hunter. I squirmish at the thought of that,
Really?
even because I'm afraid that one day my drain's gonna back up when I'm doing it, and it's gonna get.
Oh,
I'm OCD. I found out I'm OCD,
okay.
so that's where a lot of my problems are due. So not it, like diagnosed OCD, but I have like
You got
OCD. What do you call that? Like symptoms type thing.
right, right. You got all the things that point to it.
Yeah. So
So you're
no,
so
that
you're like, I'm not. You wouldn't waffle
it
stomp
would
it.
it would freak me out. And I
Yeah.
heard that I would rather suffer with athlete's foot than never have to pee on my feet. And
Really?
I heard that got disproved, which I'm hoping is still true. That peeing on your feet gets rid of
Yeah.
athlete's foot, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping that's still a disproven thing. Because if that's the only cure, but I mean, and on top of that, it's like, why would you pee on your feet when you can just use athlete's foot powder?
Yeah. You're right. But also, like, I do regularly try to hit my feet just because, it can't hurt, is my thought.
Am I not a man? Because
Well,
I swear, like, this is all stuff like I've heard other people do, and but me, I cringe at the thought.
I don't think it's a man thing. I think it's a you're more normal thinking than because I'm sitting here like, because and I've told Anna and she's like, stop doing it. Like there's a toilet right there. I mean,
Yeah.
it just and I don't know. I get in the shower and then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to pee. Time to go. I don't know. It's just my
Yeah,
way.
and the idea of other people doing doesn't freak me out, but I couldn't do it to myself.
Right.
Like if people told me like I'm like, oh, that's your business, heck, and like
Right.
it doesn't. It's not like a disgusting, but for me, I couldn't do it to myself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fair enough. Do you okay. So do you have any like pet peeves that happen in the bathroom? Um, I assume that you and Diana share a bathroom. Do you guys is there any pet peeves that are like or maybe she has some that she's made aware of to you of like, hey, you gotta quit.
That sounds familiar. I'm trying to think of. Oh, well, the what's really bad actually. Yeah, when so I get bad sneezes and coughs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of splash action going around the thing, um and sometimes like I have uncontrollable wiggle, and or I'll twitch. Sometimes I have twitches,
Yeah.
and it creates. And what's really stupid, and this is where it's really bad, is I got to clean up after I'm done. I'll clean it up. I'll be a responsible adult. In my brain, I'm telling me this.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I go, hey, remember that Pokemon episode you watched in 1997? Remember when that Pokemon did this thing? And then I'm done. And then I mean, my
ADHD.
thoughts. And then I look at the sink. Hey, you should wash your hands. But look at this wall, punk. I mean, I don't. My brain does that. And then she comes in. Hey, yeah. So that's my biggest problem. And even getting water after I step out, like sometimes that bathroom thing will get moved under the sink, the little
Yeah.
stepping pad
Yeah.
that you're supposed to put your wet feet on. And she's like, why don't you dry up before you get out of the shower? I said, I want to look at myself in the mirror when I'm drying myself off. Thank you. And I mean, I will not do it. I have that towel goes on after I have to know. It's like a confirmation that I'm done. I step out of the shower, then I towel myself. I have 1, 2, 3 steps. And yeah,
so
that
good.
drives her crazy. And then but again, I'm like, okay, I'll clean this puddle up. But that's just and that's my biggest downfall with everything. Even when I'm working, is I have this plan of things to
Yeah.
do, and then I'll think about last night's dinner that tasted so amazing, and I could still kind of smell it, and I'm like, And then I walk out and see if there's any more in the fridge. I lose track of everything.
Dang.
No.
I mean, hey, that's. I mean, at least you can like trace the how you got to that. You know what I mean? Man. Yeah. So okay. So something that I wanted to say. So you're the splash zone. When we were in high school, when Joe had moved to Great Falls, he had moved to that like house in Great Falls. We were over at his house one night, and I remember like you went down the hall to go to the bathroom, and I remember all of us were like listening to hear and like never heard you go to the bathroom, and you came out and were like, "Dude, did you even go?" And you're like, "Yeah, you got to aim it so that way like it just hits right inside the bowl, and there's no like water splash, nothing." And that was the first time I had ever heard of anybody doing that. Changed my life.
Yeah.
The aim.
I still do that.
Yeah.
Just not when I'm at home, like with Diana. You know, that's where the splash zone comes into my dysfunction, because when I'm at home in my time, I'm like, whatever, I'll make all the noise in the world. But when I'm at somebody's house, it's up to this day, I think it's just a respectful, like,
Yeah.
it's better than sitting down in the toilet, because you can either sit.
Ooh. Yeah. You know, every now and then I'll hit the sit down. Like I just kind of, I know it's,
Sure. There's nothing to be embarrassed about on that.
I just, sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I do it at work is where it happens. Cause so I work at a high school, and I'm like, man, if I like goof this and like I just splatter my leg or like something bad happens, which happens more than it should. I'm like, I got to be in front of teens the rest of the day. I can't have pee on myself and be around teens. It just cannot happen. And so I will just sit down and be like, I'm going to make sure everything's going bam, straight in the bowl. Yeah, the pet does. Yeah. But yeah, your aim thing that changed my life. I know it might be too much to say, but like I'd never heard anybody do that. And kind of same story. I don't use that at home. Like Anna has described my peeing as disruptive. And so it's like, okay, well, but do you have like a restaurant establishment in mind that is like, if I eat here, it's gonna be bad. Like I'm gonna be on the pot.
A restaurant establishment that is bad for that is a quick tango. There's a restaurant. Oh, hold on, give me a minute. Oh, now I'm just thinking of the New Peking.
Oh shoot.
Yep. The New Peking.
Little Chinese food.
Yep, New Peking and Tracy's. They had got new owners.
Okay.
They're on Central. Okay. And they make a mean breakfast. It's called the protein platter. It is eggs, meat galore. They have sausage, ham, but they're thick and big.
Yeah.
And hot. The eggs are to die for. I mean, but they just load your plate with protein.
Yeah.
And it's pretty pricey, but you definitely get what you pay for type of thing.
Right.
But I eat that, I buckle up and start heading home because I know what's coming next. I cannot eat it for lunch. The protein platter for breakfast. Yep. And they serve it all day. So I made the mistake. I'm going to tell some splicer stories.
Let's go.
So I was in this. I'm going to start off so we can't really make any connections, but I did all the schools.
Yeah.
Got fibers in there, and we're working on the hospital now, and we're working here, we're working there. Well, luckily, we were in the school. Well, it's weird because they never really built a proper basement.
Really?
I had to go under all the school or under all the buildings, all these places.
Ugh.
And actually, I won't give any specific because it actually wasn't a school. I don't think this was in the school. I actually did. I think this was another place. But anyway, so what happened is my buddy talked me into going to Tracy's.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I'll order the platter. I'll order that, forgetting entirely what happens to poor little old Nate and his not very sturdy body. We he we go there now, but I figured, oh, I'm gonna be splicing. I know I'm gonna be splicing, so I'm gonna be near a bathroom. Well, the problem with that is when we started pulling the fiber into the room, the fiber got caught under the floor. So that we put it in conduit,
Oh.
something happened under there. So I had to crawl under
Oh.
the thing, and it was a crawl space, probably 2.5, 3 feet of crawl space.
That's not a
So
lot.
I'm army crawling, and luckily I always carry a shovel with me in case I have to dig out if I have to use my shoulder to put stuff up. So I carried this little compact shovel that you can extend out and extend in.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And well, your boy Nate, it was in this building, and I can't remember. I keep thinking it was the schools, but it wasn't the schools. It was in this other building. Well, we get in, we're pulling that fiber through, and well, what happened is that conduit, not because it was that stuff that's flamby and kind of you could wherever, and well, it bundled up. So I crawled under there and I kind of straightened it out and I got it. While I was crawling under there, oh,
Oh.
oh, God, oh no, Nate's getting all Brett and Moni, and so I take my little shovel and I start digging down because I mean I'm lost underground. The building was so big I forgot where that exit point was to go back, and the guy was waiting for me. So I dug a hole, and it was a good size hole. Actually, like I kept going and I was hurrying, so I had a lot of hurry and momentum behind me. And then, but I couldn't like squat. Obviously, I had to like lay down like this. And so I'm like this, and then making sure my things are like, so I'm sideways, laying sideways because I can't sit up and down.
Oh my gosh.
So I dug this hole and just hoping that the droppings are going in the hole that I dug. And I look back and I just buried all in there.
Oh my
And
gosh.
but luckily it was a pretty deep hole that I dug. But the whole time I was digging that hole, I was struggling. Like, luckily it was soft because it was kind of, it was musty under there and moist. So it wasn't like hard dirt. It was soft. So that really saved my day. And I dug a deep hole and I buried it. And I was like, and then but now the problem is, what's the biggest problem there, Hunter?
You ain't got nothing to wipe. Like,
I ain't got a dang thing to wipe with. So I'm just, I get that thing up and then I get up there and the guys are like, all right, man, we almost got this fiber and you can start splicing. I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom. So, but I just needed a drop zone and was just like, it was the worst crawling out experience I ever had of crawling out.
Oh my gosh. I believe it.
So
jeez.
It was just a godsend that it was softer.
Yeah.
And I could dig a deep hole.
Oh man. Poop sideways.
Yeah, I had to. I mean, I was kind of angled, so I didn't, it was like not straight sideways. I kind of angled it over the hole there, but
did that feel weird to do?
It was the worst thing ever. The only comforting thing is I was underground where not a dang person could see me.
Right.
I knew the situation, but I was in that mode where I couldn't. There was no other choice. It was either that or crawl out a hole with my Jimmy Johns being stanky. So it was that bad. And so I did my business and I buried it up. And luckily, there was some loose tarp there that I kind of just packed on top of that dirt, and I kind of did that and then buried that tarp too. So it was kind of double protected.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Just marked it. Oh man. Oh, I couldn't imagine. Like I talked to a guy and we were saying how like the urge to go to the bathroom, it always hits at the worst moment. But I do not do tight spaces. I could not imagine being underneath that building and being like, oh my gosh. Like, oh gosh. Yeah. That sounds terrible.
And another bad one is when I'm in my splice trailer, there's no bathroom in my splice trailer.
Yeah.
So I'll be in a residential area where a
Uh-huh.
bunch of homes, but the nearest gas station is far away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those cords are connected underground. Those fibers connected underground. Those cords are coming into my splice trailer, and I can't just bury that up, close my splice case in the middle of a splice, and put that away and then go. Sometimes I could disconnect my trailer, but in some of them areas, you don't want to disconnect your trailer.
Right.
People are pretty nasty, and I was in a bad area, so I could right on Central there, where the glory of Great Falls, right on Central, and and I was like far away from a gas station and everything, and I had to, it's not like I had to poop or anything. I had to pee, so I mean, I'll use luckily I have like a Gatorade bottle, so I pee in Gatorade bottles. I always carry empty Gatorade bottles.
Yeah.
And that's like the thing. But when you have to go number 2 in those situations, it's like sometimes you just got to lock everything up, keep your splice trailer locked, and then just walk and keep walking until you find a gas station and you're that far away. But so what I did is I bought a little rope to tie around my lock. So when I disconnect from my trailer, it's called my poop rope.
Oh.
So it locks the circular thing. So they can't. So they can't get into my trailer. I call it my poop rope.
Somebody's gonna be walking around Great Falls and see that and go, I know what's happening.
Yeah, that's my thread. So,
dang.
Yeah. Well, you know what stuff is? I don't have my CDL yet.
Okay.
So it was kind of cool. I got into a car wreck a couple days ago. There was a guy that was, I had a straightaway green light on, I don't know if you ever remember Great Falls much, but on 38th and 2nd Avenue.
Oh man, it's been a minute.
So you know where the airport is?
Yes.
Or not the airport, the Air Force Base.
Yes.
Yeah, where you're going down, there's 2nd Avenue. That's the one that goes right. You drive up there and it goes right into the base. And then there's the schools.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So there's the schools there, and then there's that busy where Schulte's gas station is.
Yep.
Yeah, it was that street.
Okay.
So I had a green light and I was going while this guy was in the other opposing lane, or the westbound lane. I was heading east. Well, he didn't jump into the turn lane and turn. He turned while the light was green. He turned from there and he slammed right into my truck. My trailer was attached. Luckily, my trailer didn't get damaged, but my front end was all smashed in. And that was the only non-DOT vehicle that they had. And I've been having problems with my blood sugars and trying to get a guy that it's really hard to get your CDL with diabetes. It's crazy impossible almost. So I've been still trying to fight it to get it.
Right.
But after that, I was like, crap, what am I going to do? There's no more DOT vehicles. That was an old Boss truck. They updated their Boss trucks, and I got an old Foreman truck. And so I'm like, well, crap, now I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, because they like what I do, and Kurt calls, that's my Foreman's boss. He calls us, and he goes, hey, I'm going to drop the GVW on this truck so you can have another non-DOT vehicle.
Nice.
So he just dropped a truck for me so I could have
hooked you up. Dang, that's awesome, dude. That's super cool.
Yeah.
This might be a weird. I don't know if does diabetes make anything different as far as bathrooming?
Let's talk about it.
Perfect. You're just saying. I'm like, I wonder.
So obviously going to the bathroom, and I don't know if you remember this, but when my blood sugars got high, I was going to the bathroom all the time. I don't know if you remember that about me.
Oh yeah.
So high blood sugars has always been go pee more frequently. There's been a new symptom of mine. It's been making me poop more now.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's never really been a problem, but now it's like when my blood sugar's high, I go like twice as much.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't like it, but
yeah.
I still go pee a lot, but it's the poop is like, I got to join this ride now.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's interesting. And so like when you get it down, can you notice like, yeah, I don't have to go to the bathroom as often. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So
Wow. That's fascinating. I, yeah, dude, diabetes, I mean, you're very well acquainted with it. My like besides like you and my uncle and folks that Shane later on in Shane's high school career. Um like it's strange. Anna had the pregnancy diabetes. Um and I like the minute that our son was born, it was like it was fine. And it was like I don't
yeah.
understand. It's so weird like how and it's strange how much it affects you know
Did the doctors ever explain it to you guys about why it happens?
for her they just said that because like she is sharing so much of the like fluids or bodily fluids and insulin, or I can't remember what it was, but essentially
Yeah.
her pancreas is doing for both, and it wasn't used to doing it for both, and so it defaults to protect the baby, and then the mom experiences what is diabetes for the time. It's
Right.
yeah, I was like, what the
It's
heck?
yeah, because we did a research on it because I was worried about Diana getting it now, and that's basically what it is. Is if your body is more immune, has a higher immunity, she might
Yeah,
just have a higher immunity. That's what causes it. It was the same with my sister Kristen, and like I've experienced different levels of immunity through my diabetes.
right. Interesting. Like
So
how
like, oh, so I'll take 10 units. I'll have like 3 months where I'll take 10 units of insulin per meal. Well, that next month,
huh,
that's way too much insulin. And then the month after that, that's way too less insulin. I have to take 15 units.
weird.
My immunity level changes with,
Interesting.
but then I'll get used to the 15. Well, it's like, now this is too much. It'll start going low and I'll be at a 68 to 70 level. Well, it's like, now I have to go back to 10 and then 10 right now. I'm just taking 10 and it's working just fine.
That's
But
interesting. I never knew that. That's interesting. Like it
yeah, so
fluctuates.
yeah, your insulin immunity changes.
Weird. I did not know that. I thought it was just kind of like you need it and you need this much and it's kind of, you take
That
this much and
and that's why I had to get off the pump is because my pump was at a set range for how much it was giving me.
yeah.
And it's not every diabetic, it's just those who have a range of immunity.
Interesting. Huh. That's crazy. And like yeah, and dude, I've interacting with my uncle. It's insane like what they're charging for insulin. It should be illegal. Like how much I
Yeah, see, and that was the other really good thing about this job is I used to spend 400 a month for all my supply, 400 or 500 a month for all my supply.
Jeepers.
And that's why I was bad. Now I'm making twice the money.
Yeah.
I'm making this and that. And I don't even pay for my insurance.
Awesome.
It's all through our union. I'm union now. But I spend $20 for each item. So but I have the patches for this, the patches for that. And the so total I'm spending $100, but that's for a 3-month supply.
Wow, that's significantly better. Wow.
I
Dang.
mean, yeah, I mean,
That's crazy.
and that's for 5 items
Mm-hmm.
because it's $20 for each item, and I have to order 5 items.
Wow.
That's a 3-month supply.
Hmm.
So, but there's
Dang.
like those insulin caps they use for my pins because I'm on insulin pins now.
Mm-hmm.
Like those will last me 6 months. So there are times where I don't have to order it for another. So sometimes it'll only be like $80 or
Yeah.
60, depending on what I don't need that next month.
Weird.
So
Huh. That's interesting.
yeah.
Huh. Um, well, do you have any I'm my thing's honking at me again here and I should probably wrap up so you can go enjoy the rest of your evening. Do you have any like last minute thoughts of like words of wisdom for just bathroom wisdom for people?
Yeah, if you're in the middle of doing any type of job, whether aerial or underground, take a minute, squat in the pot, and then go about your busy schedule, even if you're late.
So like if you're above ground, like in the sky or below the ground.
Yeah, because sometimes I do aerial in a bucket truck, and those moments hit too. I didn't speak
Oh
about that,
gosh.
but that one you can't dig a hole in the sky,
Yeah.
so
Have you
you
ever
got to squat down, hold the job up while you go
do you
do
ever
your business.
you poop into something like inside the bucket? Have you ever like gone over the edge of the bucket?
No, no,
Oh
I always.
man.
So when we're in the bucket truck and we're doing aerial, we can actually leave the job because a lot of that stuff is supported to the pole. So you
Oh,
can
okay.
just go down and drive off to the down wherever. And that aerial stuff it's kind of our when we do aerial work, it's our like we have nothing else to do
Right.
because it's quick and easy work. So
Oh man, dude, that's a long way up. I'd get freaked out. I would pass out probably.
it took me about a month and a half to get used to doing aerial work in bucket
Ugh.
truck.
Man, man, I'd be afraid of falling out of the dang thing.
Well, you're strapped up, obviously, but even when you're strapped up, it's like if I fall out of this, is this strap gonna hold me?
Right. Yep.
Like,
That's
no,
exactly it. Like,
it doesn't matter.
no,
Yeah.
man. Well, Nathan, I appreciate you taking the time and letting me ask you weird questions, man. Yep. Well, hey, the legend continues. But well, Nate, I'll let you get back to it. I appreciate you recording, man.
Yeah. Dude,
So,
I know we've been trying to work on this forever today.
hey, it's all good. I'm glad it worked out, and
Yeah.
I'll have to try to hit you up and text you a little more often. That's something that I've found is reconnecting and
Yeah.
getting together it's been good. So
I've been and my problem, but my biggest problem is like I said, I've been working a lot of hours.
right,
So it's hard for me. So
right,
yeah. But I do
yeah,
try.
yeah. No worries, dude.
Alrighty.
Sweet man. You have a good rest of your night. Okay,
Yep.
later, dude. This has been another episode of Privy. You can follow us at Privycast anywhere you get your social media. You can send us an email, privycast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks again to Nate for being here. Thank you, Kevin and Poddington, for the use of your music. Keep pooping in the free world. Wash your butthole. Own your stank. Poop before going in the bucket. And now, as always, don't forget to flush.